So today's video, I want to talk about Amazon beyond the top spot. And this video is going to talk about ad placement modifiers and why bidding for top of search may not be the most efficient option for your brand. In some instances, it can be the best choice. We'll walk through a case study that showcases how chasing the rest of search, which is a new bid placement modifier within Amazon, is sometimes an option that could produce better results. In every market, ad spend efficiency is typically a concern, just with the nature of the auction itself. It continues to get more competitive. We all know that top of search gets better conversion rates, gets better click-through rates typically, especially if you have a good product and good reviews. But in certain categories, especially with categories that have large assortment or choices, the scrolliness of the user tends to be larger. So, take for instance fashion. There's a lot of choices. The catalog is wide. You're not going to get as much efficiency at the top of search. Some scenarios you might, but just in general. And so, figuring out how to adjust your bids to capitalize on that consumer that's not making the purchase right at the top of search is a great way to see if you can improve advertising efficiency. So here's how we did it for one client. The title of this case study was Beyond the Top Spot: How Challenging Traditional Ad Placement Wisdom Led to 152% ROAS Improvement. Rest of search, just for definition's sake, is placements outside of Amazon's search results page that's not in the top row of the page. So typically below the fold on subsequent pages. They don't offer the same type of visibility as top of search, but can give you an opportunity for maximizing your ROAS and meeting your budget goals. And I mentioned this in the beginning, but most high intent shoppers, they don't always click on the top results. You do see it if you look at the brand analytics data. If you look at conversion rates, top of search does start to win out, but reduced competition for lower placements allows an opportunity to get better efficiency. So we had a product in the home category. They wanted to manage costs effectively. And with top of search keyword, they were really high. It was like $6, which isn't too high for some categories, but for them it was high. And so we wanted to figure out a way to get beyond that. And we did a couple of things. We kept the top of search campaigns where they were, ran parallel campaigns for rest of the search, and then just monitored conversion, click through, ACOS or ROAS, and tried to figure out, can we actually get the same amount of sales and momentum from the rest of the search? And really it's about understanding the key differences between the search terms. Some search terms, you're going to want to be at the top of search always, because the top 3 products get 70 or 80% of the clicks and the conversions. If that's the case, don't do that for this exercise. Choose keywords that might not have as much stickiness. So what were the results? For the top of search performance, these campaigns, they were at $1.54 per click. Return on ad spend was 153. Click-through rate was 4.5%, and conversion rates were around 15%. On the rest of the search, you see much lower CPCs, 64 cents. The click-through rate wasn't as strong, which is obvious, or what you would assume. Conversion rate was actually on par with the top of search. So what we ended up finding out was that rest of search placements did have lower click-through, but they achieved nearly identical conversion rates and a higher ROAS. So to summarize, you need to evaluate the search term behavior. Broad terms often see the more distributed clicks throughout the page. Specific product searches tend to concentrate clicks at the top. And you really need to think about the customer journey and comparison shopping behavior and what that term is, and then decide appropriately where to put your bids and your product bidding multiplier placements. So start with conservative adjustments. You can go 20 to 50%. Monitor that performance over time. If it's performing very, very badly after you get a lot of data, it's okay to shut that off. If it's inconclusive, run it for another week or 2, and then just adjust the spend based on that distribution. Definitely consider price competitiveness. If you're running rest of search and top of search, you don't have a good product that's competitive, it's just not going to work. So you want to make sure those are in place before you do sorts of tests like these. And that's it. I hope this helps as you think about where to place your bids. And thanks for giving a listen.